Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to Game 3 between Team Liquid and Viking.G's. Finally one apiece. Viking managing to take that second game in a pretty damn dominant fashion, so we'll see if they're able to keep that sort of momentum rolling forward and potentially take this third map and really put Liquid into a tough spot there. We'll see if they have what it takes. So it is pretty much just down to a normal best of 3 now. Even still, both teams are warmed up. They sort of have a feel of what sort of ways the other team likes to play now. So we'll start to see those bans fine-tuned. Viking, they're probably not even going to bother bamming out Koifer's Lone Druid this time. Maybe they just didn't feel threatened at all by it in that previous game, and I don't blame them. He just couldn't really do much against them. He just got shut down too hard in the laning phase. He just didn't quite have the energy to pull himself back into it. They still want to get rid of that Oracle. It is always a pain in the arse in the hands of Insania. They even taken away the Snapfire as the second pick. So Liquid banned out the Faceless Voids. We'll see if they take away the... they ban out the Lifestealer, sorry. But we'll see if they ban out the Faceless Void, which is what they've done in the previous games. Or maybe we might see him maybe ban out the Slardar, because Toby, he was pretty damn dominant in that game. Made so much space for the rest of his team. So we could potentially see that. Both teams already eating into their reserve time in the early portion, just for the first 2 bans. Maybe still, Liquid, they will settle on to taking away that Faceless Void. Maybe they potentially might have left it in the pool if they had the first pick, but he was Viking in the driving seat for the first grab. They just want to make sure that Toby doesn't end up getting that. They're going to lead up with the IO. It didn't work too well for him in the first game, but that was mainly because just Liquid got so much momentum that it made him sort of redundant towards the end. Made a few good saves. So we'll see if Solari is able to run it again. Actually, no, it was Aramis, sorry, run it in the first game. So we'll see if they're going to put it into his hands again, or maybe they will just move into that position 5 role and let Aramis stay with the position 4. Liquid are actually going to snap up this Lala this time. So we'll see if Boxy's able to provide a dominant showing like Toby was in the previous game. But the fact that it's now a Slardar which is going to be up in that off lane, it does sort of make picking the position 1 just a little bit more difficult. Heroes like Juggernaut sort of struggle against the Slardar to some extent. Like, you can't just spin TP out because there's always going to be that greater bash to pierce through it, as well as just being able to generally harass him in the lane. Viking are actually going to grab the laner as their second one. It works pretty well in the previous game in the hands of Boom. So we'll see if maybe it's going to transition to be that position 2 role again, or maybe they will move it onto the support role this time and put it in the hands of Aramis, and then Solari will take the IO. I suppose only time will tell as we get further into this drafting. So we'll see what Liquid's going to grab as their second one. Normally they do like to grab that Rubik for Insania, but it didn't really pan out too well in the previous game. They're going to go for the Lone Druid again. Okay, so they don't feel like... I mean, it's definitely not that Lone Druid, the hero, was the problem. It's just that Koifer just sort of got shut down a little bit after the laning phase, and he couldn't quite get enough momentum behind him. So Liquid, they're going to say that previous game doesn't mean anything to us. We're sticking with this Lone Druid plan. Koifer's a beast on it. He's going to control you guys, so you better watch out. But we'll see if Viking GG is able to take him, just shut him down again. I think if they're able to shut him down once more as this Lone Druid, it's really going to crush the morale on Koifer, and he might struggle in that final game, if it does come to that. You know, I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying that potentially could. Potentially could. But who knows? So I'm going to take away the Earth Spirit and the Void Spirit. The Earth Spirit definitely would be put into the hands of Tiger. Even the Void Spirit, I think Mickey also can play the Void Spirit as a position 1 role. So there is also that potential, so just take that out of the ball. But Liquid is going to focus heavily all their bans now towards Shad. See if maybe they might ban out the Spectre again. They had a pretty easy game in the last one. They're actually going to remove the Underlord instead. I think it's only... Does Toby play the Underlord, or is it just Boom that plays the Underlord? I think Toby can play the Underlord as well for his team. So probably this last ban from Viking, probably still gonna target the supports from Liquid. Yeah, we'll take away the Rubik. So just making sure that Insania's Rubik doesn't do another shown, even though they did do quite well in the previous game. Still, just because it went bad in one game, it does not mean that the hero is bad for the rest of the series. Just it's purely situational. But Liquid actually take away the Drow as their last ban. Definitely would have paired up quite nicely with Lina with the auras that she pumps out. Liquid actually going to go for the Dark Willow. So this is going to be a Tiger Dark Willow. So it's something that this guy just loves to play, and you really don't see it all that much anymore. He used to play it really all the time. He used to spam the hell out of it, but it's been quite a while since they really played this hero a lot. So we'll see if Tiger's gonna become a beast like he normally does on this hero. Or if he ends up flopping. Who knows? So what's Viking going to go for as their third pick? Maybe it's going to grab their offlaner. Someone who could do quite well against a lone druid. Slardar's already gone. Maybe potentially see the Timbersaw. It's not by no means the biggest counter to a lone druid, but it's someone that it's a hero that can sort of stand in the lane against him. Unless of course he gets really unlucky and gets rooted 2 million times. Quite a difficult pickup. I mean, with Viking, they feel it as well. They're using loads of their reserve time. Already down to 12 seconds. I'm really unsure about this pick. They're actually going to go for the Venge. You tend to only really see a Venge when you need a clear save from a specific sort of ultimate or spell from the other team, or if you have a Drow. But so far, there's not exactly like a clear save. I mean, maybe if someone just gets caught out by the Slardar, yeah, you swap him into safety. But the Drow is already banned out, so they're not going to see that nice combo that you do tend to see. We'll see what POS 1 they are going to grab with the Venge instead. Someone who can benefit from that attack range bonus, perhaps. Or maybe they're not even going to bother about that. And they're just going to leave that as a slight bonus for the Lina once the laning phase is over. Unless, of course, it's actually going to be a core Venge, and the Lina will still be a support, but I imagine with the Venge pickup, we'll probably see the Lina move to Boom's hands once more into the mid lane. Now Liquid are using quite a lot of their reserve time on their fourth pick. They're still after a support and a mid laner. Probably the position 5 support as well. They're going real down to the wire here and what they want to go for. And they're actually going for the Keeper Light. I was thinking Keeper the Light, but I wasn't really sure on it. Because it really depends on what position one you're going to grab, whether he's going to actually have that much impact in this game. But they're going to go for it anyway. I mean, there is one more ultimate that the Venge can swap people out of to save. It will pretty much always cost her life in exchange, but it's a Venge. You don't really care about a Venge dying. But they will actually grab the Medusa to go in conjunction with the Vengeora that will be coming out. So definitely going to, all heroes from Vikings so far are going to be benefiting from this Vengeora. But they still sort of need a front line at the moment. They're pretty lax on who can actually stand at the front and try and become a target for this Slardar and Lone Druid to begin with and try and protect the rest of the team. I mean, could see possibly something like a Centaur, perhaps. You'd be able to pop the Centaur ultimate. Everyone will be able to get out of the Keeper of Light ultimate as soon as they can. As well as outrunning the sprint from Slardar, trying to get away from the Lone Druid Bear. Even when they get hit by the Fear from Dark Willow, they'd all be able to speedily get away. So I could see the Centaur working. Hey, even a Bristleback? No, not a Bristleback. Maybe a Bristleback? No, not a Bristleback. But maybe a Bristleback. No, not a Bristleback. No, it's not going to be a Bristleback. Bristleback would be silly. I mean, it probably wouldn't do too bad against the lane against Lone Druid, but even still, probably wouldn't work out too well. They're just going to go with the safer one of the Bloodseeker. And Liquid are actually going to grab the Mars. So that'll be in the hands of Boxy for the mid lane. So it's a core Slardar then, position 1 Slardar. But you obviously be in the mid lane, so really position 2. So obviously you get that Mars Dark Willow combo. It's pretty scary. If you ever get pinned to the wall, it's a super easy setup for the Dark Willow to get those brambles straight on top of whoever gets pinned. And it is a lot of guaranteed damage. And Medusa's not exactly the tankiest of people at the start of the game. Heavily relying on that mana shield to keep her up and going. So, I mean, it's not like there's going to be a huge amount of magic spam from the side of the safe lane coming out from Insania. Liquid, sorry. So we'll probably just see Insania mainly focus on the blinding light, perhaps, and the damage. What the hell is this? What's this actual nuke called? Can't remember, to be honest with you. My knowledge on Keeper of the Lights, just not that great, it seems. Illuminate! Aha! There you go. My professional research and skills, super quick. But even still, look at these lineups. I mean, on paper it all works for quite well for Viking, with the hero sets up with him working around the Venge. But they don't really have a big frontliner. It's just Bloodseeker. It's not really the tankiest of offlaners, really. But Liquid, they got a lot of chunky beasts that like to go heavily up in the front lines. So once again, I'm favouring Liquid. Obviously, I cursed them in the previous game. It ended up making them lose. But even still, I definitely prefer their lineup in this one. Just quite a lot of disables for the Medusa as well to just stop her from actually getting loads of auto attacks out. Who knows? I could be wrong. I probably am wrong. We'll just have to wait and see. So, they're actually moving Shad down bottom for... They're actually going to go for an aggressive Trine lane. They're just going to leave Toby to solo their safe lane. It looks like potentially Liquid are going to be running an aggressive safe lane themselves, and Koifa's actually going towards the mid this game rather than rather than taking the safe lane role that he normally does when he's playing this lone druid. So it looks like it might actually end up being a tri-lane on tri-lane down bottom. This is going to be an exciting one to watch, that's for sure. We're going to wait and see if anyone on the side of Viking show themselves. Aramis is heading up to the high ground. He's going to get in call out. He's going to have to use the temper, but lovely use of the brambles there. Stops him from going all the way back. Unfortunately, Mickey couldn't quite get close enough to be able to lend any sort of assistance. Aramis takes a lot of damage, sure, in return, but even still, he's able just to get away. Second tether coming out takes him all the way to safety. But he doesn't actually have any tangos. He's just going to have to wait for his this ring of regen to bring him back up, and that's actually going to give Liquid enough spaces to snag the bottom bounty. Toby actually wins the click and war between him and Boxy though, so he's able to get that one. Toby, I think he might realise that Boxy's going to go stall the wave and not go for the bounty rune. Well read by him, and he actually just finds a free bounty rune. Lovely little move. I mean, sure, it means that Boxy's going to be able to have the wave in a better spot, but I don't think he really cares about that. But Liquid, they're actually keeping their tri-lane down bottom, but Viking have already dispersed and moved Aramis back up top. And Shad, he's really cautious about where he wants to go. He's miles back. Well, they only see Boxy up top alone, so they are sort of scared about where Tiger's hiding, but finally Tiger's going to rotate back up towards the top lane. Solaris is trying to grab the creep wave, but he's taking a lot of harass in return for this. Insane actually dragging the creeps into the neutrals there, just to make sure that Soleri can get an easy pull off. In the mid lane, 7-2 to Koifer to the 3-0 of Boom. So Koifer's actually doing a pretty good job in the CS. Koifer actually got a uphill miss there on his own creep. Couldn't quite get it denied. So this is still a slight lead there for Koifer in CS. Still a couple more creeps there for him to actually get a chance to get. So he's definitely ahead, 10-2 to 4-1. Boom's gonna have to start stepping up his CS in a minute, otherwise he's just gonna end up falling further and further behind in this lane. It looks like Toby and Aramis are doing a pretty good job of being able to harass out Tiger and Boxy in this offlane v offlane. It's all pretty even on the score. There's a slight lead for Toby. Meanwhile down bottom, Soleri's getting body blocked up by Insania. It's letting Mickey get close enough. Finally the crush comes out. Great Bash. Still needs a couple more hits before he's able to actually get it off. Only one more hit coming out from Insania. The sprint's back online for Mickey. Online. Just gets close enough for one more crush. And that's first blood going towards Liquid. Big chunk of gold into the scaly pockets of Mickey. He's even actually just charged into trees, nearly spots Shad, but Shad just manages to avoid all the movements. And unfortunately this Medusa, it's not exactly the freest of lanes to get farming. Definitely is a little bit scary if he ever gets caught out by Mickey or Insania. Still up the top. I think they're probably just waiting for Tiger to be level 3 before they can make a move. But even still, they're always so low. It's just impossible to try and sustain yourselves against an IO and Bloodseeker combo. There's so much heal and amp coming out from these two heroes. They're finally going to make a move onto Aramis, so the Bramble Maze actually misses, doesn't connect onto anyone. Even just a spear from Boxy pushing Toby back, but I mean the damage means nothing. They're going to be able to heal this up pretty damn quick. in the mid. It's actually a double damage that ends up spawning. Now double damage bear coming out. Even easier CS in now for Koifa. He's level 5, but he's still holding the point. Maybe just in case he might potentially get engaged on. Wants to make sure he has that Fear Roar online. Okay, making the move forward onto Shad, gets the crush, holding him in place. Out comes the Illuminate, but there's mana shields there in time from Shad to mitigate quite a large portion of that damage. But even still, it's quite a bit of HP and mana taken away. And with the Chakra Magic, it's so easy to sustain this harass that's coming out from the side of Liquid. You can spam their spells and not worry too much about the resources that they're having to use. Here up top, Boxy trying to contest with the bounty runes. This is him up against both of them at the moment. He's actually just going to leave it for Toby. Tries to pin Aramis onto the trees, but it's not quite enough range. Meanwhile, Toby's just laying into Tiger, doing quite a bit of damage. Aramis has to fall back, otherwise he might just fall to Boxy. Toby, he's just charging forward onto Tiger. He's getting pretty low. He's starting to get affected by the passive. But it's taking a really long time to go down. Looks like he might eventually fall. He will drop in the end. And the lifesteal that he gets from that is enough to keep him alive. So he will manage to fall back. Meanwhile, down the bot lane, Mickey and Insane, he managed to get the kill onto Solari. Just this poor Venge having a pretty rough time. Fortunately, Toby didn't try to go for another cheeky bounty steal like he did at the very start of the game. He would have been fortunate. Needs to be careful though. Boxy knows he's there. Boxy will actually find him, pins him to the wall. Doesn't even have a God's Rebuke online yet to get a kill. Meanwhile, actually in the mid lane, Tiger makes a rotation towards the mid and he manages to pick up a kill with the help of Koifa. Bear actually had to be re-summoned. Meanwhile down bottom, missing them left, right and centre, but Liquid find another kill. This time wants to Shad the position 1. So far all 3 lanes going pretty well for the side of Liquid. Even up top, Tigers rotate back round. Boxy just chucking out quite a bit of harass onto Toby. The Bramble Mace comes out, doesn't connect onto him. It just hits onto Aramis, but he's already been healed up from the weld that was still activated. So they're both able to just heal. Straight back up to a nice healthy amount. There's very little net worth difference between the two mid laners, only about 300 gold. So it's not like Boom's a million miles behind. Even still, it's going to be a pretty nice time on the Mask of Madness on the Bear. Boom's now had to just move into the jungle just to farm up a couple of stacks that have been made. Even finds a Royal Jelly. Lucky git. We went down bottom. It looks like Boxy's actually rotated down here. You know what, maybe they want to try and make a move onto Shad. He does reveal himself. Mickey goes for a nice wraparound, trying to make a move onto Shad to get that first target. Gets stunned up by Solari, but he runs out too damn quickly. There's a follow-up stun, comes over Boxy, pins him to T. Shad's out of mana now, so he's going to run out of damage mitigation. Mickey, he gets hit by the Lagoon Blade from Boom as he's rotated around. Manages to pop the stick to heal himself back up. The magic missile comes out, connects one more stun, follows onto Mickey, and he will actually end up falling. Ends up being quite a few rotations coming out of Vikings to turn this into a favourable engagement. But even still, they keep Shad alive. They get the kill once the position 1 of Liquid. So it's definitely worth all those movements. Boom even heading back towards the mid lane. Aramis is here. Koifa is still though, full HP, full mana. They're not going to be able to find anything onto him. Turned off the charts apparently. Don't know when I did that. But even still, on terms of actual core farm, there's only 200 gold separating Shad and Mickey. Despite Mickey actually dying. But I mean, Shad's already had a death previously. But Shad's actually forced to go into the farm in the triangle already. He's still only level 5. With those level 1 split shots, it's not exactly the biggest amount of damage in the world, but even still, farms up relatively okay speed. Power Treads finished up exactly the same time for Shad and Mickey. And Shad's even just going to sit himself in the mid lane now. Trying to farm up here. Meanwhile, Tiger's already rotated around. Bramble Maze, not enough to actually lock him in place. Shad navigates around it. What's the actual stun name for the Curse Crown? That's it. Gotta remember all them names, man. All them names. Is that Toby tried to make a move onto Insania with the open wounds there, but no open wounds, rupture, sorry. He's not life stealer. Boxy's able to grab the bounty down the bottom. Tiger grabs the one up top, and there's still the one left in the Radiant Triangle as well. So it should be a 3-for-1 trade favouring Liquid for those bounties. The arena is available for Boxy. Looks like maybe they might try and set something up. Aramis is only level 5 still, but he actually misses the arena to try and catch Aramis in there. So he's able to find a lot of heals onto Toby. Even still, Toby's taking quite a lot of damage here. There's not enough burst coming up from Liquid to actually bring him down. And Aramis is able to sustain him through all of that. So unfortunately, that's the first arena usage, and it doesn't end up getting anything for the side of Liquid. I think if Aramis got caught in that arena, he would have ended up falling then, and Boxy may even have been a collateral pickup from it. Mickey able to take the tier 1 up top off the hands of Viking. Just make a little bit of space across the map. Even still, the net worth difference between Shad and Mickey has just gone a little bit further. 800 gold now. It's working for that Manta Style. Jesus is the normal key item that you see in the hands of Medusas. Meanwhile, boom, he actually finds an easy grab onto Insania. With that Yule Scepter already online, easy setup for the LSA into the Daguna Blade. And Gandalf can't do anything to survive. Not enough magics in the world. Koifa's actually moving into the Radiant Dire jungle here, trying to farm up these stacks, but he does get spotted out by the ward from those movements. Koifa actually realises how everyone was moving around that, so he knows exactly where that ward is. Only 40 seconds left on it though, so not even worth dewarding. Not like Liquid actually know that though. Probably not even bother to move in for a deward, just gonna let it sit there and time out. Tiger trying to steal away the double damage rune from Boom. Not able to get there in time. Boom's able to secure it up with the use of the Yule Scepter. Go for those bots the second time. Exactly the same build as we saw him do in the second game. It worked pretty well from then. He was able to make a lot of space happen across the map, but at least this time for Liquid, Koifa's having a little bit of a better time. He's at the top of the net worth chart. Working towards his MKB as his next item. He should have it online at a pretty decent time. 1300 gold. Already got the Blitz Knuckles. Oh, poor Insania. Just a little bit too late to actually get the kill onto the board. Doesn't get any bonus gold from that. So Boxy's charging forward onto Toby. Maybe thinking about trying to get a pick onto him here. Lovely tree cut there by Toby though. Absolutely perfectly timed. Stops him from getting pinned to the wall. Drops a sorry. If only that was all chat. Boxy would be tilting. No, he probably would be tilting from that. But really nice little quick fingers there by Toby. Keeps him alive in that situation. He probably would have fallen if he didn't do that. Meanwhile, all this is happening. Shad's just farming all the stacks that have been made by Aramis for him. And just from that one movement, he pretty much has an equal net worth as Mickey. And he's been behind him for a large portion of this game. Shad needs to be a little bit careful though, trying to walk up into this high ground. Aramis will actually spot this out. Toby's the one who gets caught. There's not enough follow-up. Rupture comes out onto Tiger. He's going to have to just go for a TP out. And there's no LSA to actually cancel it. It had already been used. So Tiger will be able to bail out there with his life. But both teams just saying hello. The Boom and Solari, they're on the hunt. They're heading towards the top lane to try and get a grab onto Mickey, who is just farming solo up here. He's nearly got these Aghanim's online already, but Boom's arrived. He even gets the quick kill onto Mickey's courier, sets up the LSA with the Ul Scepter, in with the Laguna Blade, then the stun follow up Solari. A relocate comes out from Aramis and Toby, but it's not even needed. So Solari and Boom have enough fuel in the tank to bring him down himself. And it was going to be a really good timing on that on the Aghanims for Mickey, but it does just get slowed down that little bit. Meanwhile, down bottom, Aramis does fall from the side of Viking. 3 heroes has collapsed on top of him. There's not much he can do to survive. Just going for a decision, the tier 1, all on his lonesome. Just bare smacking away. Just everyone from Liquid, well, the 2 supports from Liquid, all just sat behind him, ready and waiting to see if they can, if they need to make any sort of reactions happen. But the rest of Viking have actually rotated around here themselves. Koifa's not going to press his luck even further. He's just going to TP out, heading towards the mid lane, just going to try and accelerate his farm. Meanwhile, Mickey also got up to the top wave, just wants to finish up this Ags. As soon as he's got this online, he might actually start being able to work his way around the map and help him set up a few engagements with the rest of his team. He should actually have it after this creep wave. Yeah, we need a couple more creeps afterwards. Meanwhile, relocate coming out. We'll actually find Koifa. And with the rupture, there's no way that Koifa can run. And the Druid does fall once again. I say once again, has he actually fallen before? No, that's actually Koifa's first death, so he's been having an alright time. But still, that's another kill onto the core on the side of Liquid. So Viking, the kills that they are finding are these high value targets. Meanwhile, Liquid, they only really seem to be finding the supports on the side of Viking. Solari's fallen twice. Aramis has fallen once. I think Shad and Boom's fallen. Actually, I don't think Boom's died at all this game. Oh no, Boom has died. So it's Toby who hasn't died at all for his team yet. Bloodseeker, the real carry of this game. Zero death man. Looks like Tiger and Boxy gonna go for their little dual setup. Going for a smoke up just between the two of them. Heading towards the dire jungle, but there's no one actually in that area to find. Looks like potentially Liquid. They're just going to transition this into moving into the Roshan instead. It's the minus arm that will be coming out from Mickey and damage from the bear on Koifa. This Rosh will fall pretty quickly. It's only going to need the 2 of them. So everyone else on the side of Liquid, they're just going to set up on the outside, wait and see if anyone steps out of position. But Viking are playing it super careful. This Roshan's already going to fall. Actually going to put the Aegis into the hands of Mickey. Koifa not too scared about dying at this stage. I suppose Mickey's going to be the one just leading the charge and moving in there first. Got his Blink Dagger queued up as his next item. Meanwhile, Boxy jumps forwards. He finds the relay, just about grabs onto Shad. Shad manages to pop his gaze just before he gets locked into place. So he will hold Mickey back. LSA connects onto Boxy and Mickey, holding them both down for now. Toby comes inside with the Blood Right, only connects onto Koifa though. Meanwhile, the rest of Viking, they're all just getting charged on by the side of Liquid. Nice glimpse coming out. The ultimate from the Keeper of the Light, holding everyone down in place. But even still, Viking, they're able just to stand their ground. Shad's still nice and healthy with the heals that have been coming out from Aramis. And it's only Boxy to fall. And now everyone on Liquid just has to fully retreat. That fight did not go the way they wanted to at all. It started off looking like it would have gone really well, but it was quite fortunate that Shad managed to get off the stone gates just in time before he got pinned to the wall. And that completely negated all the follow-up that was coming out from the side of Liquid. I think they really sort of need that Blink Dagger online for Mickey, just so he can jump straight onto Shad before he can get those spells off. even still, the first sort of big play coming out from Liquid gets completely countered. And that's just now more time for this Medusa to actually come online. Queued up for the MKB is her next item as well. Still a little ways off. But talking about MKBs, and that's one finished up for Koifa now. So this bear is going to really start hurting. Anyone who gets caught out by Vikings is going to need a lot of assistance, otherwise they're going to fall quick. A lot of pressure now on Aramis. Whoever gets jumped needs to be saved. The entirety of Liquid's position themselves quite aggressively, all in the enemy jungle at the moment, trying to take down this tier 2. Meanwhile, exactly the same things happen on the other side of the map. Vikings just poking at the tier 2 themselves. Boxy rotates down here just to try and force them back a little bit. But actually, a lot of rotations coming out from Viking now. They actually want to defend this tier 2, and it is enough to force Liquid back, realising that Boxy isn't here. Meanwhile, it looks like they will actually find a grab onto Tiger. He hits him with the fear, but it's not enough that's going to save them life. And Dark Brother will still fall. Even Mickey gets caught out by the All Scepter that comes out from Toby. Hit by the Rupture. He can't run anywhere, but he's sat in this puddle, so he's going to stay quite defensive. And even though it's just 2 of them around there, Vikings do not feel safe pushing forward, and they're actually just going to end up falling back. But Mickey's on the hunt now. You will see Shad. Boxy's not quite close enough to make the jump forward, though. And this ward just completely spots out. Well, it did. Unfortunately now, Viking have no vision about what's up on this high ground. The Shad sat really comfortably at the top of that net worth chart though. 2,500 over the top of Mickey. He's been doing a really good job just making sure he was never in any of those engagements, just ramping up his farm for the entirety of this game. Meanwhile, down bottom, Liquid are making the moves, trying to catch out Boom and Aramis. Boom gets used up, just trying to play a little bit mainly defensively. Aramis probably going to go through the game, but he gets healed bombed up, but the Lagoon Bed commits to Tiger. Tiger just falls. There's just Mickey left. He's trying to do as much damage as he possibly can onto Boom, and he will actually finally fall with that last Greater Bash coming out. And there's no way for Aramis to run. He's just going to be the next casualty. It ends up being a double kill for Mickey. It does cost them the life of Tiger, but that's 100% worth it for them. So finally Liquid finds some sort of favourable pickoffs. But even still, it's just more space for the Doozer. Moving up top, Koifa, he does actually find Toby. He needs a root. He needs a root. He's not getting a root. He's finally got a root. Will he have enough damage though to follow up from this? Koifa's actually popping the true form. Just seeing Slary show himself. Maybe thinking there was going to be more rotations coming out from Viking. But unfortunately, Slary just ends up dying. But hey, his presence might have just saved Toby. I'm sure that's what he'll be telling himself. Mickey, he does a blink dagger forwards onto Boom, but it's not actually close enough. He ends up just whiffing completely. And that is now the Aegis reclaimed. So we're going to have to play a little bit more careful now. AC queued up as Mickey's next item. Now BKB online for Boom. Going to be a good way to avoid all the lockdown coming out from Liquid. Able just to walk through those arenas. But Viking, they don't feel pressured to make any sort of plays happen. They're quite happy just to let this Medusa just farm up. Well, and as we all know, a Medusa in the late game is a real terrifying thing to go up against. Definitely scales better than the rest of the cores on the side of Liquid. Shad's even gone off money now. Oh, 50 gold, and he'll have his MKB finished up. Even the little double damage denied there by Shad. Really well read. I don't think he even saw. I don't think he even saw Boxy then. I don't think his. Oh, was it? No, it wasn't, because their sentry wall was miles away. But just really well read there by him. Even still, Aramis, he actually gets caught out. They're even going to drop the arena for this, just to make sure that he does eventually die. Boom, he's now in the centre of everything. There is the Wisp coming out from Insania, trying to hold everyone back, but unfortunately there's not enough space. Boom was getting pretty low, getting focused down by Mickey, but he does get the LSA connected onto him. Boxy's dropping low. Mickey, he's just going to have to try and run away from this now, but he does manage to disengage. It's just Tiger left in the entirety of the Liquid, but Soleri quickly gets found out. He drops, he was just there just to make sure Shad didn't get caught out on anything else. But now just Liquid in full retreat. It is a slightly favourable engagement. Meanwhile, Toby just flying up to the high ground, ends up running into Mickey and Koifor. They're just going to focus him down. The All Scepter finally comes out defensively. It's going to keep him alive for now, but there isn't enough sustain coming out from the Aramis to actually keep him alive. Shad's just being a sentry gun, firing up as many arrows as he possibly can, but it's just not enough to actually bring anyone on the side Liquid down. So that actually ends up being a 3-for-1 trade favouring Liquid. It was looking really patchy to begin with, but it ends up actually going in their favour. But even still, all the picks they managed to find, it was the support and Toby. Shad still left alive as well as Boom. I mean, this Medusa is that high priority kill which they really need to find in order to slow her game down and actually start taking some objectives. Because as long as there's this Medusa online and somewhere presence on the map, you can't really push any sort of towers that easily. But pretty long spawn time for Roshan, 2.5 minutes away. Oh, it looks like Tiger trying to just deny a couple of wards. He does actually just dodge the LSA though. So it just barely survives. But even still, Viking now, they've done a smoke up. Heading towards the top lane, but there's not actually anyone there from the side of Liquid. But they've actually done a smoke up of their own. They're going to start heading up towards the same direction. They just saw the outpost get taken away. So they realise that there are some members of Viking around in that area. Okay, leading the charge. He's up front at the moment. Not quite sure if he wants to push up to this high ground though. He's playing a little bit skittish at the moment. Soleri's out on the high ground, maybe waiting to see if he steps close enough to get a swap back into the rest of the team. You know what, they will just find Koifor's Bear as the first target. It's hit by the LSA with the follow-up damage coming out from Shad and the Blood Right. It's just about drops that final hit coming out from Shad, so Koifor's forced to do a resell. Meanwhile, Mickey gets swapped up in, but perfect arena coming out from Boxy, locking down quite a lot of members. But unfortunately, Boom just pops his BKB and he's standing his ground. Boxy taking quite a bit of damage, but he can't quite follow up. Meanwhile, Shad, he's alone against Mickey and Koifor. He just drops his gaze though, and they both have to just turn and run away. And now Koifor on the retreat, he gets hit by the Rupture, and that's just going to be enough to bring him down. He actually get the last hit by Shad. But again, Liquid, they've not been able to find anyone. Tiger's just getting hit out by the Yules. No other sort of stun follow-ups to keep him locked down in place. But Toby running up to the high ground. He will run into Mickey, but he gets hit by a Yule Scepter. There's no mana left for a Boom to actually use any more of his spells, so he has to just go all the way back to base. So it ends up being a 1-for-1 trade, but definitely favouring Viking there, taking away the high-value kill of Koifor and only losing Soleri. I mean, it doesn't even matter. You're a vengeful spirit. Your job is to die. Like, it's what you do. Doesn't matter if you die. Your illusion still ends up running around and providing all these, all the auras. Meanwhile, Toby, he's actually found Insania. He doesn't have any sort of other lockdown to keep himself there. But even still, I think Viking, they're feeling pretty dominant now. MKB online, he's had that for a while now on Shad, and 4,200 gold sat in his back pocket. Can just buy up both of those two ultimate orbs, which really absolutely amazing. Crush comes in there from Mickey, stuns onto 4, and the follow-up arena coming up from Boxy. And the entirety of Viking gets trapped in, but it doesn't matter. They're able to stand their ground. They're doing quite a bit of damage. And as well as the Will of the Wisp coming out from Insania, locking everyone in place. It looks like Liquid though, they're getting pretty low. They're taking down 2 people from Viking, but instead Shad, he's still super healthy. Even Boxy now gets caught out by the gaze. He gets stunned in place. Mickey now, all on his own, gets stunned up by Soleri. Enough follow-up damage coming out from Shad, but not quite enough, and Mickey's able to get away. But Toby's on full speed. Doesn't actually want to carry on chasing. He's just going to let him get away. But absolutely amazing crush coming out from Mickey there. But even still, there just wasn't enough on the rest follow-up from Liquid to actually get many kills off it. They bring down Boom and force the buyback. But even still, it costs 2 lives of their own and a buyback onto Tiger. Even still, Liquid, they don't want to let this Roshan go. If there's a Medusa with an Aegis up, it's just going to be super hard for them to get back into this game. Mickey jumps straight in there, but he gets hit by the Lagoon Blade. A couple more projectiles flying forward. They do actually connect, and Mickey falls. He does have a buyback. He may be forced to use it if Liquid are desperate to stop this from falling into Viking's hands, and he will use it now, but it's probably too late. The Aegis still falls. There is cheese on the ground, but they will snatch that up. Boom even manages to find Boxy with the Yules into the torrent. Meanwhile, Mickey finds a quick kill onto Soleri, so Soleri will fall. And now they're all going to group around Shad, who's left on his own. He quickly drops once he's run out of mana, but he's going to come back with a lot of fuel in the tank. Lovely LSA connects there from Boom. Stuns onto both of them. Tiger drops real damn quickly. Boxy's just trying to retreat. Meanwhile, Toby charging forwards. He hits the Rupture onto Koifa. Now Koifa's in the real trouble. Mickey jumps forward. He nearly gets a crush down to Boom. He gets stunned up before he can finish off the spell animation. Toby still just running around super speedy, trying to do as much distraction as he can. Mickey dropping low. The Lagoon Blade just finishes him off. He drops. Insania falls. Boxy soon to follow. His shield's doing as much as it possibly can, but it will splinter in the end. Another 4 brilliant kills coming out there from Vikings. Completely decimate the side of Liquid. And that costs a lot of resources from Liquid to try and bring themselves back into that one. Mickey gone for 85 seconds. No buyback. Boxy and Tiger gone 30 seconds. There's going to be a lot of objectives that Vikings are going to be able to take out of this. It will force the glyph already, so there's not going to be that glyph to try and delay the high ground take that will be coming out pretty damn soon. But even still, I mean, Viking don't even need to wait for creeps. Viking Shadow on his own is enough to just tank this out. There is a repair kit to try and delay this. Finally, the backdoor protection comes in, but creeps, they're immediately there. Cancels it once more. And the repair kit is just not enough to stop this damage. Boxy and Tiger are now available, so there's 4 heroes on the side of Liquid to try and mount the defense, but it's just too late. Their barracks are already gone. Vikings just going to bail. And now it's just looking super scary for Liquid. Their lineup really sort of heavily relied on the fact that they'd have a dominant early to mid game and just try and just snowball off of that and really dominate this map. But unfortunately, Shad's had such a free game. He's only died the once, and he's been farming non-stop. He's an absolute monster at the moment. Working towards his Daedalus as his next item, and he's only 1,000 gold away from finishing that as well. He's going to be such an absolute mad amount of damage. I mean, I'm not sure what Liquid can really do to actually to just swing this game completely in their favour. It feels like they need to find Shad completely on his own, miles away from the rest of his team, and that feels like the only thing they can really do. Because I mean, even on that fight we saw in the mid lane, Mickey got a 4-man Ravage, but even still, just everyone in Viking just turned around and ended up taking a favourable fight. They're actually just with this smoke up. They're trying to find Koifa. The scan connects. I know exactly where it is, but they're actually just going to focus down onto his bear first. Don't care too much about finding the actual kill. They're happy just to get that 300 gold from the bear and force that resummon. So what's he actually got on the bear at the moment? It's got the MKB with the Basher, Mask of Madness. Working towards an AC? No, he's actually going to turn that into the Moonshard because obviously Mickey's already got the AC. He does not need that anymore. Well, he was building AC. Oh, he's still building the AC actually. He hasn't got it finished. Meanwhile, Boom's actually finished his own AC, and Shad's now got the Daedalus online as well. So really big power spike now coming out for Vikings. This has gotten even more dangerous for the side of Liquid. They have to be super careful. Insanely though, he's actually finished up a Refresher Orb on this position 5 keeper. We'll see if this double Willow is actually able to be enough to keep him in this game. He just barely needs a tiny bit more XP just to give him that level 3 of his ultimate. And that'll definitely be help him and the rest of his team out in this next coming fight. Viking now, they're just going to start working their way down towards the bot lane. This tier 2 should fall pretty quickly. There is a glyph available, but I imagine Liquid are probably going to save that for the high ground. Not going to waste it again like they did the previous time. I say waste, but even if they held it for the high ground, it probably wouldn't have been enough to actually stop the push from coming out. Viking, I would have thought they might have chosen to just keep the pressure going in the bot lane, but they end up falling back, maybe scared that Liquid were going to try and make some sort of wraparound play and catch them out. They're just going to play it safe. They know they're in the lead. They know that Liquid are definitely need to be super cautious. So they're just going to play it safe. They don't want to try and make any sort of mistakes. But finally, the AC is online for Mickey. So if he has something else before, all he had was a Blinker and an Axe, which isn't really much for a position 1. Well, the potential. Well, he's meant to be the position 1, but I mean, he's 12,000 gold behind Shad. It's pretty damn scary. Even Koifer's 9,000 behind. This is such a fat Medusa. Working for his BKB is his next item, even though he doesn't have the slots for it. We'll probably just see him ditch his power treads. That always tends to be the item that goes first once a hero 6 slotted. Or he might, yeah, he'll probably still ditch them and then start working his way towards the Ags. So what does an Ags actually do for Medusa? Causes mistake to turn enemies hit into stone. Stone duration increases with each bounce. Wow, that's pretty strong. That's pretty strong, actually. I'm surprised that's not more of a meta thing to actually pick up. Does it pierce BKB? I suppose if it's just using normal Mystic Stake mechanics, then no, probably not. I mean, it seems like Viking, they're a little bit scared about trying to make some sort of play happen. They're all just loitering around a bit. Maybe they just want to wait for the next Roshan to try and make their next high ground push more secure. I'm not sure if they really need to. They seem like they're strong enough to be able to just keep pushing forwards, especially with just the fact the Shad is just so damn massive. But they will eventually just start working their way down towards the bot lane once more. Shad just sold enough money for that buyback. An extra 1,600 gold in the pocket. All these tier 4 items coming online now. I just noticed this like really weird graphics block at the top left next to the team names. Team symbol, sorry. That knows what that is. Some weird bug. The Vikings on the hunt now. Finally decided to make some sort of play with a smoke. Potential respawn of Roshan is right now. It's only 1:10 away, so it's not the longest spawn in the world. Stereo will spot out the Arcane Rune. He's actually going to be the one to grab it, probably because no one else on the side of Viking was close enough. I think they probably would have preferred that to go into the hands of Boom, but even still, I don't want to risk someone from the side of Liquid just jumping on top of it and stealing it away. But Liquid, they're committing a lot of presence here as well. All just sat on top of the high ground now. Millions of puddles for Mickey just to swim around him. And Viking, they're just waiting for this Roche. That's all they care about. Still 35 seconds away. Slurry is literally just a ward at the moment. He doesn't need to be anywhere else on the map. He's just waiting for this Roche. But Liquid are all grouped up down towards the bot. They would actually scan out the fact that It is just Slarey, so they think this is probably going on. Even though it's not actually there yet. Mickey's just charging straight in there. We'll run into Slarey. One quick hit, it does a lot of damage, and Roshan spawns immediately behind him. Mickey getting stunned up. He's taking a lot of damage coming out from Shadlings. Will be forced to go back. He barely survives. Slarey finally falls. Meanwhile, Toby just runs into the backbines. He's got the open wounds onto Mickey. He's taking quite a bit of damage, but Toby just getting locked down now. He's all alone, and he will fall. So it's 2 kills going towards the side of Liquid at the moment. Slarey's going to be forced to buy back. Liquid is going to keep all their presence around this Roshan. Do not want to let this fall into the hands of Viking. I would not be surprised if Toby buys back. Viking need everyone here to make sure that this Roshan goes into their hands. And Shad's doing so much damage. Mickey's getting ready to jump in. The gaze gets popped by Shad just to make sure no one can follow this up. But out comes the Will-O-the-Wisp. It's actually going to change Shad to force it to change its direction. And Mickey actually ends up getting the Aegis. No one ends up getting the cheese at all. He actually gets the cheese and the refresh orb. Everything is in the hands of Mickey. He might end up falling, but Shad's just standing and fighting at the moment. This Will-O-the-Wisp finally runs out, so he's going to actually start managing to actually attack some people. He's still full HP and full mana. He's just firing away. No one's died from either team yet. Boxy's dropping pretty low himself. He's just going to fall back into the pits, making sure he's actually staying safe. Shad's just focusing now all this damage onto Mickey. Mickey's having to run away. You might see this Aegis finally drop. He's focusing down to Slarey. Slarey's going to survive. And Mickey's going to come back up any second now with that Aegis activated. He will finally come up. Slarey did want to go for a sort of swap into the pit. Meanwhile, Koifer now gets caught out, gets hit by the rupture from Toby, and he falls pretty damn quickly. And now everyone on the side of Liquid just needs to fall back. There's no Lone Druid for another 80 seconds. I mean, Boom got pretty close to falling himself, but he actually just barely manages to survive. He gets out of that fight. Now Viking, they're just gonna death ball down the top, even though the fact they don't have any of these resources from the Roshan. They got 2 nice kills. And that's all they needed. Cheese, I guess they passed it into the hands of someone else, or did Cheese actually end up getting used? I think Cheese must have been used. Yeah, I think Cheese just got used by Mickey when he was trying to run away. They do have the refresh orb. I'm not sure who they really want that to be on. Mickey's actually going to keep it. Doesn't quite do much. Shad now just sat at the front, firing away into this tier 3 tower. Even with Boom, just artillerying from far away with those fireballs. Glyph will come out just to stall this from happening. And even still, as soon as that wears out, Shad and Boom just carry on firing. There's so much damage. It's impossible for Liquid to get close enough. Just all the split shots that are coming out from Shad is so damn threatening. It's scary to go up against. Looks like Boxy's maybe trying to set up to go for like a spear play. He turns down the arena, actually grabs onto 3 of them. A nice grab here. The Tiger follows up, trying to do a bit of damage. Will-O-the-Wisp comes out, but Shad immediately deletes it. Looks like Slarey might finally fall. Boxy gets the lead himself. He just drops. And now even Tiger falls as well. It's just Mickey left in the back. He drops as well. He's gone for 100 seconds. Does have buyback, and he's currently going to be forced to use that. Triple kill so far for Shad. And Viking, all they end up is losing is the Venge, which is still here to provide an Aurora, so it does not even matter. And Shad just goes straight back onto the high ground. He's going to carry on hitting away. Mickey, you're going to have to buy back. Otherwise, you're just going to end up getting megaed for sure. Looking real damn scary for Liquid now. I'm not sure what they can do to try and keep themselves in this one. Mickey will finally now buy back. And that's actually going to force Viking back. They don't want to overstay their welcome. Thought maybe they could have just kept their pressure going and potentially just taken that Megas there, but they want to play it safe. They don't want to end up throwing away the lead that they have managed to build up. But even still, it's just another fight just going in their favour, only losing 1 support and taking away 3 core kills. Just Mickey's game is so dropped off this game. He has less than half the net worth of Shad. Less than half. Oh my days. That is scary. 16k against 35k. I mean, Shad is just fully 6-slotted now. He doesn't have his boots. He's got his Hurricane Pike online. Got a BKB. Still 9 seconds as well because he's only just sort of picked it up. And he is actually going to go for that Aghanim's Blessing as his next pickup. I thought maybe he might prioritise the Moon Shard as his next item just to even further ramp up the amount of damage he's able to do. But, I mean, the sounds of that Aghs, it sounds pretty damn lethal. Just turning everyone to stone, whoever gets hit by the Mystic Stake. It's pretty damn strong. Oh no. Viking even find a double damage up top. Oh, that's disgusting. Viking, they might just go for the GG push down mid now, perhaps. He crits for 1,100 damage. Absolutely monstrous. So Shad's just barreling down towards that, down the mid now. But it looks like maybe Viking, they're going to change direction, potentially going to head towards Mickey or Koifa down bot. But they will both just bail. They won't get spot out by anyone. Even so, Viking, they're just going to wait for the quick wave to come in, then we'll probably see them start sieging up to this tier 3. Perhaps they might do what they did before and just leave it for the next Roche, potentially. I mean, I don't think they need to, though. I think they're strong enough just to go for this. Just in all of these fights, it just seems like Shad just doesn't get anywhere near to dying. Liquid, they've actually gone for a smoke up now. They're moving towards their own jungle. They will actually find Shad as their first target. He will reveal himself. Actually, Boxy jumps towards the back. He finds Aramis. He's going to try and bring down this IO as quickly as he can, but he's got the Aeon disc. Even Solari just swaps him into a better position. Toby now getting focused out by the rest of Liquid, but even he's able to slippery dodge it. Boom now, he's under attack by Mickey and Boxy. Finally, a second arena comes out with the refresher charge. And then the Will-O-the-Wisp on top. Solari's trying to focus down to bring it out, but Boxy, he will bring down Boom, and he falls. Solari's going to quickly fall down as well, but finally Shad's able to start throwing out a bit of damage. But so far, it's 3 kills going towards Viking. It's even a buyback forced out by Boom. This is actually finally an engagement going to the favour of Liquid. Boxy actually ends up falling just from the split shots coming out from Shad. And Shad's still full HP, full mana. He's not affected at all. They even spot onto Koifa now. His true form's over, so he's going to be a little bit tankier. Oh, lighter, sorry. But then LSA actually finds the connection onto Koifa, and he drops pretty damn quickly with the Gunda Blade committed as well. He does have a buyback, but he's gone for 90 seconds. But even still, Viking, they've lost Solari and they've lost Toby as well. No buybacks on either of them. So they will be forced to fall back. But even still, that was a pretty nice fight coming out from the side of Liquid. Ends up being a 3-for-2 trade. So I think, did Tiger end up dropping? I can't check the summary now, actually. I could do it on that. Mickey bought back. I think that was some ages ago when Mickey bought back, wasn't it? Or did Mickey just buy back? I think he bought back ages ago. But Boxy did buy back? Yeah, Boxy bought back as well. So a few things changed for either team there. Even still, Axe Blessing now online for Shad. He's still got 5,000 gold sat in his pocket. I mean, his buyback is really damn expensive, so he can't just instantly buy out that Moon Shard and have enough in case of a dire situation. It looks like Viking, they're going to try and make another play happen. We'll group up in the mid. They're just waiting for Toby to respawn. Got that smoke up on Solari to pop at a moment's notice. But Roche, once again, potentially going to spawn in 15 seconds. Two couriers from the side of Viking here to scale it out when it does eventually spawn. Oh, there's a weird blink dagger. That was odd. Viking have finally popped the smoke up of their own. Double damage, just waiting there for Shad to take it up. Roshan, though, is still really long spawn away, so fortunately for Liquid, Viking aren't going to be able to snatch that away super easy. I'm surprised that there's not just been a bottle just sat in Shad's inventory in case a double damage does spawn and he can just store it for the next big engagement. I would have thought that would have been quite a nice. Liquid is smoked up. They're heading around towards the Roshan picks. The scan did connect, so they think that the side of Viking's actually in there. But Mickey realises this. His smoke hasn't popped. So they're going to start heading towards their own triangle. They jump forward. They actually get a connect onto Boom, but the arena follow up as well. It is going to stun Boom into the side, and he will fall. He's gone for 2 minutes, no buyback. But Tiger's a quick target. He drops down pretty quickly as well once Shadow focuses onto him. And now Toby becomes the focus of Team Liquid. He's taking a lot of damn damage. Shad's just trying to stand his ground, pops his BKB, takes away the Will-O-The-Wisp. Boxy's going to end up falling here. Slurry, nice aggressive swap, brings Mickey back towards Shad, puts him in an aggressive situation. The Mystic Snakes comes out, actually sets Stone onto Mickey, and with the orbs coming out from Aramis, it's enough to finish him off. He's gone for 2 minutes. No Boxy for 100 seconds, no Tiger for 80 seconds. It's now just it's a 3-on-2 for over a minute. We'll see if Viking want to try and actually just go for the GG push. It's only Koifer and Insania left to defend this. It doesn't look like Shad wants to, though. He's actually just going to fall back. You may as well just keep pushing forward. There's nothing that, at this point, the Lone Druid can do to stop you. Shad is just so damn massive. Again, in that noble fight, he just does not get targeted at all. He's still full HP, full mana, full everything. The creeps on the side of Liquid actually get a kill on the tower down bottom. Tiger will buy back. It's going to maybe force Viking to rethink their aggression, but never mind. Look at that attack range. What is going on? Oh, that level 25 talent where the IO gets to attack whoever the Shad's attacking. Look at these long range goddamn orbs. Tier 3's going to fall. The Rax is going to take a lot of damage pretty damn quickly. And there's still no Boxy even 30 seconds, so this is just going to be Megas. There's nothing that Liquid can do to stop this from happening. Roshan's even just spawned now as well. What the hell? Why is there a flying sheep here? Poor Courier, it's caught in limbo. Vikings scout out Roche. They're going to move straight in there. And what's it got on him? It's got Aegis, it's got Cheats, it's got Refresh Roll, and it's got the Axe. See who they're going to give the Axe to. We're going to put it into the hands of Toby. He's got two Rupture charges. Going to probably chuck that on Mickey and Koifer. Going to be those primary targets. They put the Refresher Shard into the hands of Shad. I think Boom took the Aegis as well. I mean, they realise that Shad is just never going to die in these fights. Everyone else gets focused way before he does. But here comes the GG push from Viking. They want to win this game now. Shad is just pushing his way forwards. Liquid, they can't even take any sort of ground from him. They're getting pushed all the way back. Meanwhile, get Shad. He gets hit by the focus. It's not Shad, Boom, sorry. He will fall. They really comes out as trapping Shad in here, but Boom just Boxy's just going to end up falling anyway. Boom pops his BKB as soon as he spawns. Mickey dropping super low. Final hit brings him down. Koifer goes as well. And that's just game. That's just game. All three cores gone on the side of Liquid. It's just the supports, but there's nothing they can do to survive this. They'll just let they'll let Viking destroy the Aegis. Ancient, they don't want to tap out. Very well played there by Viking. They actually take the third game. So they're leading the series 2-1 now. Really dominant showing. It looked like from the early portions that it was going really well in the favour of Liquid. But they just couldn't find Shad in any of the times they went to picked off. All they ever found was the Vengeful Spirit or the IO. And they're definitely not the targets you want to be getting. You need to find the kills onto Leaning. You need to find the kills onto Shad. They did eventually start picking up kills onto Boom. But it didn't matter. Shad was just farming the entire game. I think he ended that with only one death. Wait for the score to actually do it, but I'm pretty sure it was just one death. Yeah, 14, 1 and 12 on Shad. So all he had to do was just sit there in the team fights, right-click someone, and then he just takes his hand off the keyboard. That's all he had to do. Just sentry gunned everyone down. But really well played there by Viking. Well-deserved victory, I thought. But as I was saying in the draft, this is the second game in a row that Liquid have picked up the Lone Druid and they've lost with it. So that could potentially have disheartened Koifer a little bit. Maybe got into his head. So we'll see if Liquid's going to maybe suffer from a little bit of tilt. Hopefully not. Hopefully they're able to bring it back and make game 4 an exciting one. And maybe even take this to a game 5. But we'll have to wait and see. But again, very well played there by Viking GG. Well-deserved victory. And we'll see if they're able to take that into the next game and close out this series 3-1. But if you guys have enjoyed the content I've been able to provide so far and you just enjoy my commentary in general, and you want to, stay up to date and watch more, then please stay tuned for the next game. And even subscribe onto my social medias. I've got YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, where I announce what games I'm going to be casting. So yeah, if you guys liked what I'm able to do and you want to support me as much as possible, then yeah, just follow me on any of those, and I'll see you in the next game. See you later.